Hi there. Welcome to this video on Managed File Transfer. I'm Jose Villanueva, your MFT expert, and you're watching Proven MFT. Today, we're returning to the fundamentals to discuss Managed File Transfer and its benefits for small and large organizations and businesses. Let's get started. It's no exaggeration to say that the world runs on data. I think we can all agree on this. And data is what powers the business processes we rely on a day-to-day basis. Our world's operations heavily depend on the swift and efficient movement of files, and file transfer protocols have become the arteries of our digital infrastructure, allowing people, businesses, and governments to partner, innovate, and communicate globally via the internet. Let's look at a real-world example. At the beginning of the year, you apply for health insurance through your job or insurance broker. They send an enrollment file to the insurance provider of choice. The health insurer sends a file back confirming your enrollment, but then you visit your doctor for your yearly checkup. And when you arrive, the receptionist looks for your eligibility and benefits using your ID or medical card to assess your coverage and deductible for that visit. Question: how does the receptionist system obtain the needed information to process your visit accurately? Well, this information was provided to that system and the receptionist through a file transfer process that is completely automated and invisible to you and me and the receptionist. Here's that automated file transfer process. First, the hospital has a scheduled process that runs every day overnight. This process creates a file called an eligibility and benefits inquiry file. This file may contain personal information on all the members, including yourself, who have an appointment scheduled for the coming business day. This file is transferred to your health insurance company, which processes it and generates an eligibility benefit response file, which gets sent back to the hospital system. This file contains all the information on your health plan, eligibility, and your benefits. That morning, when the hospital opens and you arrive for your appointment, the most recent eligibility information is available, and the check-in process is hopefully fast and easy. Let's say you see your doctor and you need a medication. Since they already have your benefits and eligibility, the doctor will submit a prescription to the pharmacy. The pharmacy will then fill your prescription or place a purchase order if it's not in stock. So this is just one example of how file transfer powers business processes in our day-to-day experiences. Some are direct, others are indirect. Nonetheless, automated and managed file transfer is at the core of it all. Here's another example. You're scrolling through TikTok and you see an ad for a product you want to order. You click on the link, which takes you to the online store. Then you add those items to your cart and provide your contact info, shipping address, and payment details. Then you just press submit order button and you go on with your day. The online store company has an automated process that takes your order information and sends it to the manufacturer or supplier in a file called a purchase order. The manufacturer receives the purchase order file and generates an acknowledgement file and sends it back to the online store company so that they know that their order was received. Shortly after, the supplier will generate another file and send it to the online store company, confirming how many items will be fulfilled and where and to whom they will send it, including delivery tracking numbers. This file is also called an advanced shipment notice. And this file is what allows you to visit the online store website to check the delivery status of your order, including the estimated delivery date. Once the item has been shipped to you, the supplier sends a file to the online store to collect payment, also called an invoice. As you can see, file transfers enable the digital world and life experiences we participate in daily. But to summarize the points being made, Managed File Transfer Solutions, or MFT for short, are applications that automate and facilitate the secure and efficient exchange of files between different systems within an organization or with external partners. The primary goal of MFT systems is to provide that automation, reliability, auditability, and streamline file transfer services while ensuring data security and compliance. It's important to note that multiple types of applications can make up a cohesive MFT solution. You may have heard of file transfer gateways or file transfer agents. These applications are employed to solve specific file transfer patterns. I think it's worth looking into those patterns now. The first pattern is external B2B file transfer. This pattern depicts the need for secure file exchange between internal department file shares, servers, applications, applications, and external partners, clients, banks, and regulatory agencies, to name a few. The second pattern is internal peer-to-peer file transfer, and this is the need to exchange files between internal users, servers, and applications without double hopping or bottlenecking the B2B file transfer gateway using peer-to-peer file transfer agents. And the third pattern is ad hoc. This is the need for secure file sharing and collaboration, but typically in a more non-standard, non-automated format. In many cases, organizations will use things like OneDrive, Google Drive, or S3 buckets to share files via email links. However, many enterprise-level file transfer gateways nowadays include ad hoc capabilities via the file transfer gateway through a web browser-based UI. So now that we know the three main file transfer patterns, let's look at the functions of an MFT gateway within an organization or a business. Typically, MFT gateways support multiple protocols. Some of the popular ones are AS2, SFTP, FTPS, even HTTP web clients, and more recently, we're seeing HTTP-based REST API file transfers. Internal and external users and systems connect to the MFT gateway with one of the protocols I just listed. When they log in, they're taken to their home directory where they will upload and download files. Typically, they'll be given an inbound and an outbound folder, or a to and from folder. Some MFT gateways like to refer to these directories as mailboxes. This term has been around for a long time because MFT gateways resemble the functions of a post office. So, for example, when your partner wants to mail you a letter, think of this letter as a file, they have two options. They can place it in their personal mailbox, think of this as their SFTP server, and expect the mailman, or your MFT gateway, to pick up the file. Or they can take the file directly to the post office, or your MFT gateway, and drop it off there. So think of this as your external partner initiating a connection to your MFT gateway via SFTP or placing the file there, right? In MFT, this first method is called a pull, and the second method is called a push. I hope that makes sense. Once the file has made it to the post office, aka your MFT gateway, it must be evaluated, processed, and delivered to one or more target destinations. Let's look at the typical evaluation process before we looked at the processing and the delivery of the file. Since organizations tend to exchange multiple files, the MFT gateway needs to evaluate these files to figure out how to process and deliver them. Typically, three factors come into play during evaluation. 1, who produced the file. 2, what folder or mailbox was it placed in. And 3, what is the file name. Keep in mind that when building the evaluation rules, it is best practice to specify all three as part of your evaluation to avoid the rule being too broad and avoid misrouting of files. I have a video on best practices on the channel if you're interested. The link is below. For example, let's say we're expecting 3 distinct files, and each one needs to be processed and routed to distinct target destinations. We can build a simple rule for each. The first rule has a name of Acme enrollments, a date timestamp.csv. The second file has the name Acme claim, again, date timestamp.csv. And the third file has a name of Acme inquiry, date timestamp.csv. So our first rule would read something like this. If Acme produces a file that lands in the inbound mailbox and the file name pattern is Acme enrollments star.csv, then process and deliver the file this way. Our second rule would be if Acme produces a file that lands in their inbound mailbox and the file name pattern is Acme claim star.csv, then process and deliver the file this way, and so on and so forth for the third rule. Once the files evaluate to a specific rule, they are processed in a sequence of steps or functions. Let's look at the typical processing functions available in most MFT solutions. Remember that some solutions have more functions than others, but here's the list of the most common. PGP encryption, decryption, compression, decompression, file renaming, character replacement, line functions, and transcoding. For example, when receiving files with sensitive data, you and your external partner may have agreed to exchange files with PGP encryption. Therefore, when receiving encrypted files, they must be decrypted before being delivered to the target. Otherwise, the target may not be able to read, consume, and use that file. Likewise, when you produce a file, the MFT gateway should be able to encrypt the file and send it over with the expectation that your partner will decrypt it once delivered. Another example can be compression functions. To transfer multiple files faster and in smaller sizes, your partner may compress them into a single zip file, expecting you to unzip them. MFT gateways have functions to unzip the file before delivering the individual files to the target destination. Another typical example is when your partner expects you to follow file naming conventions. MFT gateways can take care of this by renaming files before delivery. This can also be useful when your backend systems need to process files your partner send you, but the system is looking for specific file names. The MFT gateway can rename them in case your partner cannot comply with those naming conventions during the production of the file and delivery to you. The MFT gateway can perform many more functions while processing the file. Ultimately, you should ask the MFT vendor of a list of functions and see if they match your technical and business requirements for file transfer automation. Let's move on to delivery of files. Once files have been processed, they need to be delivered to one or multiple target destinations. A comprehensive MFT solution can deliver one or multiple files to one or multiple destinations. One key aspect to consider when evaluating an MFT solution is how easy they make it to send to multiple destinations. And it's not about how many destinations they can send to, but how easy they make it to send to those destinations with distinct protocols and file names. For example, you might need to send a copy of the file to two of your external partners, but they each require a distinct naming convention and delivery protocol. The MFT solution should provide an easy way to deliver the files with the appropriate file name. Okay, this video is not meant to go too in-depth. In fact, we didn't cover monitoring, visibility, security, architecture, and other essential topics, but I hope that by now you understand how MFT gateways work conceptually and why they are a key technology in every organization and how they automate many of the processes we rely on daily. Thank you for watching till the end. Please consider liking this video, and if you found it helpful, subscribe if you want to see more content on MFT. And before you go, if you'd like to discuss anything MFT, check the description below on how to contact me. I'd love to connect. My name is Jose Villanueva, your MFT expert, and I'll see you in the next video.